So, welcome back to the DM school. We got everything in place today, and we're going to talk about part 2 of players. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the dynamics and what we talked about last time and how to handle some of those things. So everything's in their place. I got a movie on, a nerd movie on, and my familiar is in her place. She's not dead. She may look dead, but she's not dead. See, she's alive. She's alive. She's my familiar, and she doesn't do much except sort of lay around. Right? Okay. So last week we talked about the different kind of players. We talked about how they're not gonna see the same things you're gonna see. They're not gonna have your vision. Okay, so that's your job, is to sort of impart your vision. But you're gonna have to deal with the players, the people who are gonna make the game, the ones that are going to you need to play, right? So you need these guys to play the game, or you're not gonna have anybody. It's be you staring at a wall, and that's not fun. I mean, it can be if that's your type of enjoyment, but to have the players. So what we went over with last time, we had loud players, we had quiet players. Quiet players are the ones who are different from shy players. A quiet player is just someone who maybe just doesn't know how to role play yet, or doesn't feel included as much. You got shy player, which is just shy. They're just a shy person, and you got to draw them out. We have the goofy players. You know, the ones that are just doing everything that's goofy. The lawyer players, the ones that want to take the whole player's handbook and hold it in front of themselves like this and tell you every rule there is. And then you got the one player that's just a disturber, and he's the one that can really ruin the game and make everybody's time not fun. So how do you deal with these guys? It's hard because no one likes confrontation. Okay, let's get that straight. No one really enjoys confrontation. You're there to have fun, so you don't feel like you want to have a confrontation with somebody or get angry or mad. You don't want to sort of step on their role-playing style if that's the way they are. If they're like, well, my character's quiet, so I'm going to play a quiet character, and I'm not going to say much. I'll just follow the group. Okay, well, I got it. That's fine. You're playing your character, but don't use that as an excuse not to play the game. Okay. Some players are going, my guy's goofy. He likes to do all this stuff. Well, that's fine too, but don't ruin everybody else's time. So how do you deal with this? So the first thing, and I've got a few tips from this. I mean, I've got people telling me things. So one of the main things is that when you're DMing a party, most of the times the parties will police themselves. Okay. So you may have a group that's doing this stuff and you let them interact with each other. You don't always have to step in. You don't always have to go in there and step in and do something about it. What you don't want to do is have a party. You want them to interact. You want them to police themselves, but what you don't want is something like this. What you do want is you want your party to act like this. Okay, so how do we get there? How do we get to your party acting like that and not like the first thing? Okay, how do we get there? So like I said, you can let the party police themselves, but to a point. Okay, you don't want people yelling and screaming, calling each other names, stuff like that. That ruins the whole thing. Okay, so you can let them control themselves, and if it's working, that's fine. If they wrangle the other players in, or they decide maybe we don't need them in the party or whatever, and you guys come to a group decision that this person just can't play, he's just not going to play with us, then you have to go with the party rules, right? Sometimes that's the hardest thing, is you have to go, look, I mean, you're just not getting it, and that can be the hard talk. I mean, that can be where you take a player, if you're a serious role-playing group and you take a player aside and you say, look, you either don't want to play, the disturber. Let's take that one, the disturber. So you take them aside and you really don't want to play. You're bored with this. You think it's stupid, and you're just being goofy and not goofy, but you're just being disruptive to the group. And the group doesn't want to play with you. So either if you want to play, you got to change your style. You got to get in and play right. Play nice, or we're just going to move on without you. So those are the hard talks, and sometimes the hard talks are the best talks, but they're hard. Okay, I mean they're awkward. Okay, they can be that way, but they can also solve the problems if you're just honest and straight up with the person and saying, this is where you need to be. Same with any other ones can be the same way too. You can have that conversation with them and just be like, look, you're not saying anything. You're just not playing. If you don't want to play, that's fine. Just tell me. You don't have to. I mean, I've had that exact conversation with the first person in my group. Was that, hey, if you don't want to play, I don't care. Don't play. It's not for you. You don't have to play. D&D is not for everybody, right? I mean, it isn't. It's just there's a certain group of people. If you don't want to play, don't play. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It doesn't bother me. The rest of the group, be fine. We'll move on. You want to watch. So that's the one thing. Have that awkward, have that hard talk. Not awkward, but it can be awkward, but the hard talk. The hard talk is sometimes the best talk, and it sort of clears the air, and you can probably solve the problem. Either the person's going to straighten up, or they're just going to leave the group, or they know they're on notice, okay, and they know they have to straighten up, or they're going to be, if they want to play. All right. There's some other tricks to do too. If it's not really bad, if it's not really just like bad, if you just sort of lost sort of a control of the group, you ever had that where you just like lost control? It's just like you're just sitting there behind the screen, you're just like, oh, I just lost complete control. Okay, it's like everybody's just like blah, 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 all over the place, and you're just like, God, I just lost complete control of this group. I've been in that way. I've been that way in meetings at work. Everybody's been in that situation. If you've held meetings or you've held even training classes and stuff, you've been that way where the eyes glaze over, or they're just off on their own and they're doing things, and you've either lost them because you're boring and they're bored with the game, or they're bored with you, or they're just all over the place and you haven't commanded the situation. Okay. So one thing I've done before and it can work is, if they're going to be goofy or they're going to start doing stuff like that, take everything they say literally. Okay. So if they're like, hey, you go, okay, you're surrounded, you're in the streets and there's the guards and they're coming towards you, and they go, yeah, well, I'm going to take my sword. I'm going to go over there and I'm going to hit them with it. I'm going to go attack the guard. All right. You're attacking the guard. I didn't really mean that. No, that's what you said. You're going to attack the guard. We're playing a game, right? We're role playing. This is what's happening in the dungeon right now, or an adventure. You just went and you said you attacked the player. Well, no, I didn't mean. No, you did, and you just alerted the entire city guard, and now they're coming after you. You now are a wanted criminal, and you have to fight. Roll for initiative. Okay. You can, being the DM, you can always reverse time if you want. Once he's learned his lesson, you can always reverse time and say, okay, so are we going to play right? Are we going to play right? Or are we going to still do those things? Okay. So another way you can do it too is, we used this back when I was a long time ago. We used this a lot. Oh, dang it. Hang on. Sorry about that. So use this a lot. And this is when we couldn't understand what was going on. There's so many people playing. We had big groups back in the day, big groups. So it was like everything you say is either got to be in character or out of character. And you have to say that. And that's what it is. Because if you say I'm in character and you keep talking, I'm taking everything you say literally. You're in character. If they say I'm out of character, then you go, okay, whatever you say now, I'm not taking that literally. Okay. So if they're, doing things like, hey, I go in the room, they go, I'm in character. Okay. They go, I'm in character now. And I go, okay, go ahead. And you go, okay, so I'm going to get a spell ready, and then I'm going to, get my spell ready. And then, I'm going to look inside, the room. Okay. You look inside the room. Okay. You see a roper or something. I don't know. Umber Hulk. You see that sitting in the corner and okay. Well, hey, I should go in the room. Okay. You go in the room. No, I didn't. No, you didn't say out of character. You said you're in character. You said you're going in the room, and you're in the room. So that can also help with defining what they're saying to you and to the rest of the group. So when they're saying smart ass remarks to each other or something like that, when they're like, yeah, I'm in the bar. Yeah, I tell them, yeah, your armor looks stupid. You know, you're in character when you said that. So you just told this guy his armor looks dumb and his mom's a ogre, you know, and they're like, well, no, you said you were in character and that's what we're playing. So that can sort of control a group too. I don't like it as much because it doesn't give the free flow of stuff. You sort of got to be more stringent, like in character, out of character, in character, out of character. But if you got a group that you sort of got to control, it can work, and you can throw those rules out if you want later. If the group finally gets it and they're not doing it, you can do that. You can say, okay, now we don't have to do that anymore. Okay, everybody sort of understands. But some people like it. Some people like to be able to jump in, jump out. They can either go, I'm in character now, so this is what I'm doing, blah, 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 blah. Out of character, what's this, what's that, what's this? You know, what can I do on my sheet or my character sheet or whatever? And then they go, okay, in character I do it. So some DMs like it. I knew a DM that loved to do that. He loved to do the in character, out of character thing, and you had to follow that all the time. So that's another way you can handle a group, okay? Another one is if remember we're not playing in D&D. It's an open world environment, right? It's only confined by your imagination. And so you may make a dungeon that's made for levels 3 to 5, and that's fine as long as they're following the guidelines of the dungeon or of your things. But if they want to go rogue, they want to go off reservation, they want to do their thing, the world's a very dangerous place, as you'll see. So that can happen, right? So that can happen to a player. Just because they're in a 3 through 5 dungeon, if they go off and wander, I'm leaving the village and I'm going to go into the forest. You know, the forest wasn't really someplace you were supposed to go. And it's like you're detracting from the rest of the game. Your people are depending on you, and you're just going to wander off somewhere else. Okay, you run into a freaking stone giant, and he's pissed because you wandered into his cave. Okay, whatever. So you wandered into his cave, and now he's pissed, and it's like, well, he's not. Well, hey, it's the world. No one's saying it's safe out there. It's a dangerous place, right? And if you just go wandering off, you're going to have to deal with the consequences. And that's one of the biggest things, man, is dealing with the consequences. People have to take responsibility for their actions, and you know, that's a lesson for life, period. That's a life lesson. Take responsibility for your actions. No one makes you do anything you don't want to do. It's all choices. So if he wanders off, well, you've made the choice. I didn't make you wander off. You wandered off. Now this is what's happening. This is what the mighty dice say happens. This is what the DM says. This is what's going on. You made the choice. Sorry. Go back and get back into where you're supposed to be and stop being a douche and freaking running off. Okay. So you can take control of that. Another thing I use sometimes is awkward silence. Sometimes if the group just starts getting out of control and I just sit there. And pretty soon your quiet will start making other people quiet because it becomes awkward. Okay. And they'll get to a point where everybody will start looking at you, and it's like because they expect you to still be doing things as they're being their way, and if you're not doing anything, they're going to be like, "What's he doing?" And if you just sit there and stare, just sit there and don't pick up a book, don't roll dice, don't do any of that stuff. Don't just sit there, just sit there and look at them and just listen. And pretty soon you can just say, "You know what? Are you ready? Are you ready to play?" If you're not, we can sit here all night. I can stop the game right now. We can sit here all night. We can just do whatever you want to do. But you want to play or you don't. So that's that's sort of a good one. I mean, I've done that before too. I've just sat there and listened to them talk. There's a difference between sitting there and listening to people talk over what they're doing. Like, that's a good one too, just to shut up and just listen to them and let them work. A great experience I had last time is that they were working out some issues and I just sat there. I'm quiet. I didn't give them help. I didn't help them at all. They went back and forth and the group dynamic was working fine and they started working their problem out and then they're like, okay. And I'm like, all right, is that what you're going to do? And they're like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. But it's also the awkward silence where it's like they're out of control and they're just not listening to you. And you just be quiet and you just sit there and you'll find, and this has happened, I can almost promise you what's going to happen is they're going to keep talking and they're going to look at you like, well, what are we doing? And then you can go, okay, are you guys done? Because this is unacceptable. Really. I mean, it's unacceptable that we're acting like we want to play the game, but we're not doing anything. We're not getting anywhere the way you guys are playing right now. And as the DM, as the guy who set the game up, as the gal, as the person, guy or gal who set the game up, a person who set the game up, put their time and their effort into this, you have a right to say that. You have the right to say, you know what, I don't have to play. You know, you guys are here to play with me. I'm here to put you through this world. And if you're not going to listen to me, if you're just going to go off on your own tangent, then I'm done. I'm just not going to do it anymore. And those can be firm, you know, and those can handle a group. So there's some ways, there's some in-game ways. There's a couple, some ways you can always go after the players and you can be a douche. But the other thing you can do too, and we'll talk about this later too, though, is that you can start subtracting experience points from stuff. If a person's playing way outside their character the way they're supposed to be, you can minus experience points. Okay, you're not acting like your character's supposed to. Okay, you're just being stupid. You're not at all doing. If you're chaotic good, you shouldn't be killing the bartender. Okay, if he just gave you a drink and it was the wrong drink, you don't kill him. Now that's negative hit points plus the repercussions of what you did. Okay, it's like, well, I'm lawful good. Okay, you see someone, you see someone who got robbed and you're going to help them? No, I'm going to point and laugh at them and then, stuff like that. It's like, no, that's not how your character, you're outside the way your character acts. So you can minus experience points from them and they don't have to go up. I mean, I don't know if it's been done, but I've never done it personally, but I'm sure people have, is lower a character's level. So you went backwards, dude. You were recycled, like we used to say in the Air Force. You were recycled. Okay, you were sent back. You didn't make it. Everybody else went up. You went down. Okay, so that's another way of handling it too. All right, so those are some of the ways. We're gonna cut it on there. This is part 2. I'm gonna cut it there. So that's just some of the ways of handling a group, and they're all going to be your own ways of doing it and how your group interacts. But like I said, take what they say literally. If they're just blabbering, just take what they say literally and let them face the action, the repercussions of it. Set rules that help stop that with like an in character, out of character mode. Okay, you can do that. You can say in character, out of character, or you're in reality, out of reality. In game, out of game kind of thing. Okay. If they do wacky things, the world's your creation. And if they're off wandering somewhere else, the world's a dangerous place. Just remember, I've told people that the world's a dangerous place. So go do what you want to do. And awkward silence. All right. Awkward silence when they're too loud and they're getting unfocused, and just sit there quietly and wait for them to refocus and then have the talk. And the last thing would be just have that talk with them. Take the player and just talk to them on off time whenever and just say, hey, you know what? This isn't you and I, you're having issues. The party sort of doesn't have a problem with you. Party does have a problem. Party does have a problem with you, and we're not having the fun we should have. And I think either you don't want to have fun or you're not understanding what we're doing here, whatever. And work with them, coach them up, if you can. But have that talk with them, that hard conversation with them. All right. So, and real quick, the last thing is that sometimes let the party handle the players, and they do a pretty good job of that. They can do a pretty good job. Especially you got players who want to play, the good players. I'm not talking about that list of players, but the players that are good players, that are good D&D players, understand they will take care of issues. They'll understand where you're coming from, and they'll try to take care of what's going on in the group. So they can let them handle it all and then take care of themselves. You won't have to do anything. That'd be great. And everybody wants a perfect group, and there are perfect groups. There are groups that are great, and there are some groups that are bad. There are going to be in betweens. As a DM, you'll face them all, especially if you're DMing different groups at game places or family. Family's hard because families wants to always have fun. They feel really comfortable with you, so they just goofy. And I do that with family a lot, so it's a lot of that. So just be prepared. Those are the things. Try those out next time. Give them a try. See which one works for you. I mean, and if you're having issues, if you have any more issues, let me know. Throw something down in the comments. Tell me what I'm doing right. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Let me know if you found some things that work better. If you like some of the things I said, if you don't like them, if you think things are wrong, let me know. Always looking for feedback. We can always share information, right? DMs should always share information. So let's do that. Remember, if you like this, subscribe, like the video, and pass it on. And I always said, let me know, man. Let me know in the comments what you think and what you don't think and what I should do more. Or if you think these help or if they don't, let me know. So I'm not spinning my wheels over here. Okay? So everybody have a good time. Everybody enjoy. Roll 20s and just, have a good time with this stuff, man. It's not hard. This is the toughest part, players. So peace out. All right, guys.